Hello and greetings to you, our Cornerstone Church family. I am making this video today to share with you some significant news and developments in the life of the Cornerstone Church family. We have heard news, all of us, I am sure, of changes regarding limitations to the meeting together of churches, and we want to share with you an update on our plans with that regard. I want to share these plans with you not with a sense of exuberation or exaltation, but rather of cautious expectancy. We are wanting to move forward in a slow and prudent and wise way that will help people to stay safe and respect the concerns that people have, while at the same time indeed allowing us to move forward. So what I want to share with you today is that we have come to a moment when it is indeed a time to gather again. The church has always existed as the church scattered and the church gathered. We gather for worship and study and encouragement. We exist scattered to serve others with the love of Christ and to share the love of Christ and the good news of salvation through Jesus Christ with those who need to hear. Because that is how the church has always existed, the church has never closed. We have never closed, not for one moment through these last weeks. We have continued to be the church. You have continued to be the church, serving your family, your friends, your neighbors, showing the love of Christ, gathering together virtually, although not in person. So we have never closed. And so through these past weeks, we have been scattered, and the church went forward. And now it is time to regather and go forward together. How we do this is very important. I want to start by acknowledging that not everyone will be comfortable in gathering. We acknowledge that some will feel that the precautions that we are taking to regather do not go far enough. And I understand that, and I appreciate the feelings that those people have and the thought processes that go into how they've arrived at that position. I also want to acknowledge that some people have said that they will not abide by any precautions that might be put in place. And I want to acknowledge that those views are not the church's views, they are not mine, nor are those views appropriate. We are calling on everyone who is a part of the Cornerstone Church family to take this opportunity as we regather to practice love and grace that we are supposed to show to each other as the members of one family. There are a number of Bible verses that we could look at about this, and I'm not going to take this. We could turn this into a all afternoon long message. But I do want to highlight a couple. John 13, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You are to love one another. And by this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. It does not say that people will know that we are his disciples by winning our argument or having our way or showing our rights, but by showing love one to another. That means being considerate to all and the differences that exist. We are to show love one to another. Galatians 5:13 describes this. It says, "For we are called to freedom, brothers, but do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." You may feel that there are certain things you do not need to do. That might be your right. But we are called to lay aside that right, lay aside that freedom, and care for others. Let us do these things. Ephesians 4 says, "We are with all humility and gentleness and with patience to bear with one another." One of my favorite one another passages in all of Scripture, because that bear with one another, I've said a lot of times from this pulpit, simply means give slack to. And if there was ever a time and a period when we need to give each other some slack, this is the moment. So let us not insist on our way or our rights or our position. Well, let us be willing to show love and compassion to each other. And lastly, just a reminder, we just finished 1 John, so I will remind you of what John wrote to the church there. 1 John 4:12, "No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us." It is critical to remember these passages and many others that reflect similar themes. They stand behind how we are to respond to each other, and we must honor these biblical commands ahead of all personal opinions and ideologies. We show love one to another above all things. It's So that stands behind everything that I'm going to say. Having reviewed the Minnesota Department of Health industry guidance for safely reopening, don't like that word, we are not reopening, we are regathering. The church never closed. Regathering faith-based communities, places of worship, weddings, and funerals. The staff has discussed that guidance, and the elder board has reviewed that discussion and the document that was produced. Having looked at all of those things, we are planning for Cornerstone to resume limited services beginning this Sunday, May 31st, 2020. In order for this to happen, we need to implement a number of protections and protocols for the church. And we are asking everyone to respectfully observe the guidelines that are being put into place. If after hearing these guidelines you feel that they are inadequate and you are not comfortable coming, that is okay. And we understand. And you're still part of the family. We will still have opportunity for you to participate. If after hearing these guidelines you feel you cannot abide by them, then we would also ask you to refrain from coming and simply continue to be a part of observing and worshiping from home through our online platforms. We are asking everyone who comes to be willing to follow these guidelines out of love for one another. So, what are the guidelines? Well, the first thing we want to let you know is that from a standpoint of staff health, and I won't go through all of those things, but we have put in a number of things that are happening on a daily basis to maintain health and protect the health of the staff that are here and the people who come in on a daily basis to meet with us. So there are daily precautions that are being taken in and amongst the staff. There are precautions that are being taken with the building regarding ventilation protocols. The deacons are reviewing all of those things to make sure we have the proper ventilation, the proper functioning for our HVAC system to be healthy and provide the proper circulation levels. We are engaging in heightened cleaning and disinfection protocols, and we're working on checklists of how to do those, cleaning other more frequent areas, and we'll give more information about that. Probably the place you will notice that different when you come to worship is that the hymnals and the pew Bibles and the friendship pads have all been removed from the sanctuary. You can bring your personal Bible and use it, that's fine. All the paper copies, the bulletins, that'll be available for you to pick one up, but nobody's going to hand one to you. They will be available for you. We're also going to make those available in a digital format, so you don't even have to do that. It'll be available in the app or through Facebook. You can just download a digital copy and have that available to you when you arrive. Our occupancy limits, and this is an important one, 25% of occupancy. We are basing that on total seating capacity or maximum seating capacity of our sanctuary. That puts our total occupancy as about 80 people, is the maximum number of people that we can have here gathered on a Sunday right now. That includes everybody up here on the worship team and the staff and the people in the booth. So that's already about 10 spots taken up right there. So there's a room for about 70 other additional people to join us. So because of that, we are asking your help by requesting, and I will emphasize this again many times, if you are in any kind of a high-risk group, if you're in that older group, that older population that is especially at risk in this, if you have any health condition that puts you at risk in this, please stay home. We want far more for you to be safe and for you to be healthy than for you to be here with us. You can watch online, you can join, we'll still provide those streaming platforms just like we have been doing. Please do that and stay safe. Please stay home. That is of utmost importance to us. Also, as I said before, if you have any concerns about the protocols I'm going to describe, you say that's not enough and I'm not comfortable with it, or I can't do that, or I'm not going to follow that, then you could stay and just watch online also, both sides of that, and we are fine with that. We want this to be a great, positive, healthy environment. We're doing everything that we can to do that, but we want people to stay safe above all. And so we have to maintain that 80 occupancy level, so please help us with that. 70 is about the maximum that we can have. We'll let you know when that number changes, but that's about the maximum that we can have. If we have more than 70 who show up, we're going to cut it off and we're going to say thank you for coming, but you're going to have to go home and hop online and you can watch the service from there because we have to maintain and respect that limit. We are looking at what to do for the 20th anniversary service on June 14th. If the weather cooperates, we may be able to do that as an outdoor drive-in kind of service with some different protocols that will allow more people to be here, but we're still working on that. What else are we doing to prevent possible transmission and to help make this safe? Well, the first step, again, is anyone who is at a higher risk or severe illness is strongly encouraged to stay home. Watch it online, live stream, join us that way, but don't come, stay safe. Also, you should stay home. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, if you have a household member who has symptoms, or if you've had close contacts with any confirmed cases or anyone who is in quarantine. If you have had any of those exposures, if you have any symptoms, stay home. This is common sense stuff, people. If you're sick, stay home. If you've been around somebody who's sick, please stay home. Don't pass it on. Also, if you come and you begin to have signs or symptoms, and those will be posted on the doors, what those are. If you have any of those signs or symptoms, those signs are going to ask you to leave. And if you begin to experience any of that while you're here, you should just get up and exit immediately. And not stay around. We don't want to pass things on. You need to leave if you are experiencing those symptoms, and everybody will understand that. All attendees, while you're here, must maintain that 6 feet of social distancing and refrain from all physical contact. That means, I'm sorry, not hugging, not shaking hands. I know we're going to want to do that. That's going to be our heart and our instinct to do that. Now is not the time. Getting to be with each other is the reward, is the privilege enough at this moment, and that is going to be good. And we don't want to endanger that or put that at risk by engaging in things that we shouldn't. So we have to maintain that 6 feet of social distancing. So no physical contact. Members of the same household, you can sit together, but there'll be 6 feet of distance between households. In order to do that, we're going to be taking out some of the chairs. We're going to be making more space. The seating is going to be significantly reduced in the sanctuary to help accommodate that. Also, we're marking exits. We're going to have some one-way traffic, in one doors, out the other doors, special marking for where to stand, limiting access to the bathroom to one person at a time. Better yet, we're only going to be here for about an hour. Go before you come, go after you get home, and just not even worry about that. That's the easiest way to manage that. We would really encourage you to do that. Also to limit any potential risk, and this is the one where I know people have a lot of strong feelings, and it's about these. We are asking everyone to wear a mask to the service. It's not about you, it's about the other person. It's about what you might transmit, and it's also about what will make them comfortable. We want people to be comfortable. So we are encouraging everyone to wear one of these. I will be wearing one of these, the staff will be wearing these, the people up here singing will be wearing these. We are encouraging you to also wear a mask. If you don't have one, we'll have masks here for you. But we are encouraging everyone to wear one of these and just make that a point of honor and respect to the other people around you. It's 1 hour. I understand that people have different issues with them and they can be uncomfortable at times. It's 1 hour, hopefully less than an hour. We're going to have you in and out. But wear the masks. It's a way of showing respect to those around you and showing your love to them. We also are going to do some things to limit some potential risks. One of the things that I've talked about churches is the risk posed by singing. There's a lot that goes into that. What we are doing, we are not eliminating it, but we are going to do a couple of things to help reduce that risk. One is the singers up here, they're all going to be 12 feet away from you, so you don't have to worry about that. They will be wearing masks, so you don't have to worry about that. Even the mic covers are antimicrobial, so they're not going to get stuff on there. But all of those things are for your protection. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to limit the amount of singing we're going to do. We're going to do most of that singing at the end of the service. So if you don't want to be around when the singing happens and you're worried about that, you can leave the service. Also, we're going to encourage people, if you want to sing out boldly, guess what? Wear one of these. And you can sing all you want and sing boldly out through that. If you're not going to wear one of these, then we're going to ask you just to kind of quietly sing or hum to yourself while we sing along, just for those protections. Other things that we are doing. Signs are posted, encouraging people to wash and sanitize regularly. We've got hand sanitizer throughout the foyer, lots of bottles of it around, hand sanitizer stations on the walls. Wash your hands, use the hand sanitizer frequently while you are here, and practice good hygiene while you are here. There will be no passing of objects between individuals. We don't worry about passing an offering plate. We're not going to be passing friendship pads down the line. We're not going to be passing anything out. When we do communion, we won't pass communion. We will have the elements on a table. We're going to ask one family member to pick up the elements for your family and to distribute them only to them. So that's what we'll be handling communion. There will be no coffee or fellowship time before or after the service. People are encouraged to exit the building quickly after the service is ended. If you want to talk and visit and hang around and chat, great, do it outside. That's the best way to accommodate that at an appropriate social distance. There will be no nursery or other children's programming right now. That limits the potential exposure. You know, it's really hard for kids to adhere to social distancing. 6-year-olds don't get social distance. And it also limits our need to sanitize additional spaces. Entrances, exits, restrooms, etc. are marked for areas of congestion. Again, we're limiting access to the restrooms to one at a time. There'll be some markings and signage for that as well, just to remind you of that. So make sure you make note of those things. I finished with this. We're going to continue with all of our virtual services, everything that we're doing. The Bible study on Wednesday night, we're going to continue offering the virtual online services through Facebook and the live stream. We're going to do that no matter what. That's the decision that's been made. We've stepped into that realm and we're not stepping back. There will be an online presence, a live streaming presence for Cornerstone going forward from here on. We are purchasing the equipment to make that happen. And so even when we can throw the doors wide open and have everybody here, we're still going to offer that. The other way, you can invite friends to come and join us virtually. It's been really wonderful to have people joining us from all over for our services. We have friends and family from all over the country joining us. My college roommate from New York has been watching. We even had missionaries join us watching from Peru. And that's really cool. And that has opened a wonderful door of ministry. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep providing that and invite you to keep joining in through that means as we go forward. So we will continue to provide that. All the other things that we're doing, we're going to keep doing. That's not stopping and that's not going away. So if that's what you're comfortable with, if that's what you're okay with, you are still part of our family. You are welcome to keep attending that way, and we want to keep caring for you in every possible way that we can. And finally, I want to end with, again, this emphasizing we need to show love and grace to everyone and ensure that everyone who chooses to attend not in person will not have any negative feedback given to them. There will be no criticism of them. And for those who chose to come and attend in person, we want there to be no negative feedback or criticism of them for coming to be here. But we want to love one another in the name of Christ. So I encourage you, make the choices that will be best for you and for your family, for your health, for your comfort, and know that we love you and that we care for you, and we are excited, cautiously, in a guarded, protective, prudent way for us to gather together again, at least in a limited fashion. We look forward to those who will join. We look forward to those of you who will join us via live stream. And we look forward to the day as God moves us forward when all of this is behind us and we can look back to His glory and how His church thrived in the midst of these difficulties and continued to show the love of Christ one to another as we are commanded to do. Thank you, Cornerstone family, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.